Okay, so one of the things that I did was here's some logs that I got from Rachel. A tree blew down, and so I had to cut the logs into little 6-inch sections. That took a little bit, ran through my table saw, and then eventually got them to where I could handle them. And then I put them on my lathe and started working with them a little bit. It was a little bit hard. My lathe was jumping around. I had to get them kind of sized up and things like that, but that all worked out pretty well. It took a little bit. I actually fast forward a lot of this right here so you can kind of see it. Took me about an hour or so to kind of make this bowl. What I'm trying to do is just trying to get it to be round, and you can see the tool that I'm using right there. I actually made that. I call it a scrape tool. I actually made that scrape tool out of an old hammer chisel that I had, and so I'm using that to make it round. You can kind of see the log shrinking as the video's playing. I'm probably going maybe 8 to 10 times faster than what is normal speed, so just to kind of speed up the video just a little bit. And once you get the outside round, then you actually have to try to make a tenon for the front that you see right there. That's actually going to be the bottom side of the bowl. And I have to make a tenon right there so that my chuck will fit on that tenon. So here I am kind of sizing up the front right there, trying to make a little tenon so that my chuck will fit on it. And so that took a little bit to make sure I was getting that right. And again, this is some fast speed going here. And once I got the tenon all sized up and ready to work, I was able to mount the chuck, my tenon chuck, on this piece of wood. I flipped it back around, and once I got the tenon mounted on there, and then put it in my lathe that way, and then I could carve out the inside of the bowl. And so that's kind of what this part of the video is. I'm actually sizing up the outside again just to make sure that it's spinning correctly. And then I turn my tool rest around to the front and actually try to work on gouging out all the material on the inside. That took a little while. Here I'm just sizing up the sides again. Making it round stabilizes everything. And I always use that skew chisel right there. I turn that at a real high speed. A little bit of sandpaper just to sand it down just a little bit. Again, I'm just kind of turning it right now to get it because the wood is still really wet and I want the wood to dry out. And so I start gouging out a little bit of the middle right there. I actually use a drill and I drill in a hole a little ways. And once I get that hole about 2 or 3 inches inside there, that gives me a reference point of how far I can go inside the bowl. And then I start to gouge it out a little bit. It took a little while to get that. I probably wasn't using the best tool to do this, but once I got it, all the material removed that I wanted to, again, I'm going to let this dry for a few months. And then as it dries, the wood's going to shrink a little bit and expand and crack a little bit. And so I'll do a final turning on this bowl at a later date, maybe in a couple of months, after I've kind of figured out how to do this. And so that's the bowl right there. I was able to take it off the chuck. There's a picture of the bowl right there. That's the inside of it. And then here's the outside of it there with the tenon still on there because I'll remount it on that tenon and do it one more time.